Hi everyone. I've been sewing masks and donating them to local healthcare professionals and some friends in need. And after making several different types of masks, I've fine-tuned one for my personal use and I really like it. So I thought I would share the pattern with you today. So mine has elastics for around the ears. It comes up to more of a V up at the top. It has a pipe cleaner in the top of it to pinch close to your nose. And it is made out of 3 layers of fabric, which has a pocket for a filter so you can have added protection. And it's of course machine washable. You always want to make sure that you wash your fabric first, dry it on high heat, and iron it, and then you are ready to go. So let me show you how I make it.
Okay, so here you'll see I have 3 layers of fabric already cut, and this is the teenager size. I called it a small, medium, teenager. And for the elastics, I cut 4.5 inches long of elastic, and I've cut out my pattern. To cut out your pattern, you want to fold your fabric. So grab a piece of fabric, you fold it over, and you take your pattern, you line it up, and this is a fold on this side. So you place it on the fold, and then you're going to go ahead and cut all the way around the edge. Then the next thing you do is take your 3 pieces of fabric, you put the good side together. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. You put your good side together, and then you're going to go to the sewing machine and you're going to stitch right along the top end piece and on the bottom end piece. And you'll see on the template that it says nose, and then it says chin. So you go to the sewing machine, sew those. You want to back stitch here first and then sew up, and you want to back stitch and then sew up. Don't mind my fingers, I was painting earlier today, I'm sorry. So let's go do that and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can see that I've gone ahead and I've stitched on the nose, and then I've also stitched on the chin for all 3 pieces of fabric. And then on the 1 piece of fabric, you want to fold over your edges like this. 1, 2, and you want to run that through the machine. So you're running a seam that way, and then on the other side too, on the other end. 1, 2. This is going to be your pocket. And then run a stitch along that. So I already went ahead and did that to one of my pieces, so you can see here. One side and the other side. So here's the tricky bit. You want to make sure you're lining up your pieces of fabric properly. So you take what you just did, the piece of fabric that you've folded over the edges, you take that piece of fabric, then you take another piece of fabric that will just be in the middle as a sandwich. You take that and put it like so, and then you can wiggle it to line it up. I'm not one for pinning, so I like to just piece my fabric together and hold it as I sew. I try to use the least amount of pins as possible. And then this is the outside fabric. This is what I want everybody to see. So that's the fun fabric for the outside. So you want to take the fabric that you've made the pocket, you put together, good sides together, and you put that together. I always hold on to the nose. It's easier if you hold on to the nose piece. And then you just make them line up like so. And you keep tugging until you get them to line up. Like so. Okay, and then the next thing you want to do, sorry, I have a loose piece of thread here. Okay. The next thing you want to do then is open this sides up. So you have your 2 good pieces. You have the piece that you've sewn for your pocket, and then you have the good piece of fabric facing you. That's going to be the outside. You take your piece of elastic cut according to size depending on how big your mask is. This one is 4.5 inches long because it's a teenager mask. And you put it together, see that? And then you pinch. I only use 3 pins just to hold the elastics in place as I sew around. So there's one. I go around, make sure your elastic is laying flat, and you loop it back up to the other corner, and you pinch and pin. And then you go around and you make sure everything's still in line. Go around and you do one more. Your other side elastic. So you put it on the corner and you sandwich it together and pin it in place. And then the other end I don't bother to pin because I'm going to take that over to the sewing machine right away, and I'm going to sew that one together. But I make sure it's flat, not twisted. I sandwich it together, and I'll show you how I start sewing. Alright, so here we go. I have everything pinned and we are ready to start. So I put the one piece that I haven't pinned down yet. I'm just going to go ahead and start that one right away. And I'm going to back stitch first. Double check that everything's still lined up because I don't pin anything down. Take out my pin, hold down that elastic so it doesn't move, come up to the corner. I'm going to back stitch over my corner to reinforce the elastic in place, and I'm going to turn as I do that. Same for this elastic. I'm going to back stitch as I turn the corner. Again, make sure all your pieces are lined up and still sandwiched nicely together. And then I'm going to stop, so I leave a hole, so that's where I'm going to reverse my fabric. So you can go ahead and cut off your piece, and what you're going to do is open it up. So you just have to turn it inside out and gradually wiggle everything out. There you go. We have a mask. So we have the nose up here, and then that's going to be the chin down there. And you have your hole, so we need to close up your hole. So you just flip your end pieces inside. You pull it nice and tight, and we're going to run it under the machine. And we can go ahead and backstitch when we start to reinforce the elastic one more time. And we can cut that off. And then the last thing we want to do is put the nose piece in. So that's nice and easy. All we do is take a pipe cleaner. I folded it in half and I've twisted it around. We shove it inside of the pocket hole where you would put your filter. You wiggle it all the way up to the top of the nose. Make sure you don't put it in the chin. Make sure it's the nose. It has a longer slant on the pattern, so you should know it's your nose. and then we're just going to sew that in place. So we're going to start on the end. I'm going to backstitch because it's a new piece. I put my needle in to make a nice sharp turn, and then I'm going to come across and make sure that I wiggle up the pipe cleaner all the way up to the top. And again, just to finish it off, to close it in.
And here's your mask. Okay, so if you go to my website, you can find the pattern there. I have a pattern for a large, an adult medium, a youth size, and a small size. With all of them, you just follow the same steps. With the large size, I do add one pleat on the side, which is really easy to do. You'll just fold over your fabric, run it through the machine, and you're good to go. But if you have any questions, let me know, and I'm here to help you. Okay, good luck. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye.